Hello friends and family and all my students at Anna Reynolds School. Welcome to another edition of Books and Cooks. Today I've chosen the story Bunny Cakes by Rosemary Wells. I chose this story because we have a teacher at our school whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Mrs. Gallup. And I also have a special student named Haley Tedeschi. She's a fourth grader and her birthday was 2 days ago. And I had promised to give her the biggest birthday hug on her birthday, and I wasn't there to do it. So Haley, this story's for you, and I'm sending a birthday hug out to you right now. This is also a great story for springtime or leading up to Easter. So sit back and enjoy Bunny Cakes by Rosemary Wells. And of course, when we're done, I've got an amazing, exciting cooking activity to share with you. Bunny Cakes by Rosemary Wells. It was Grandma's birthday. Max made her an earthworm birthday cake. No, Max, said Max's sister Ruby. We're going to make Grandma an angel surprise cake with raspberry fluff icing. Max wanted to help. Don't touch anything, Max, said Ruby. You know how older brothers and sisters can be like that to younger brothers and sisters. But it was too late. Ruby sent Max to the store with a list that said eggs because he ended up bumping the table. And the eggs cracked. Pages are sticking, I'm sorry. Max wanted red hot marshmallow squirters for his earthworm birthday cake. So he wrote red hot marshmallow squirters on the list with the eggs in his very best writing. See that? When he got to the store, he gave his list to the grocer, who could not read Max's writing. So the grocer went, "Oh, eggs. You need eggs." So he gave Max the eggs. Max brought the eggs home to Ruby. "Don't bump the table, Max," said Ruby. But it was too late. So Ruby had to send Max back to the store. And on the list, she wrote milk. Do you see the milk that's spilled? So I have some milk right here. He had to go get milk. These pages are very sticky. This time, Max wrote red, hot marshmallow squirters in a different way. And Max hoped and hoped for his squirters, but the grocer still couldn't read Max's writing. Milk is what the grocer read. So he handed Max the milk. Max brought the milk home to Ruby. "There's a yellow line there," Max said Ruby. "You can't step over that line." But Max crossed the line anyway, and over went the flour. That's this bag right here. He spilled it. So Ruby went and got her pencil, and she wrote the word flour. I bet Max is going to try to put what he wants on the list again. This time, Max wrote red hot marshmallow squirters in the most beautiful writing that he knew. Max could almost taste those red hot marshmallow squirters. He gave the list to the grocer. flour, the grocer said. And he gave Max the flour. He still can't read what Max wrote. Does anyone have an idea of how Max can get his message across if he doesn't know how to write red hot marshmallow squirters? What do you think? It's another way to get your message across to your teachers and your family sometimes. Think about that. See if you're thinking what Max is about to do. When Max got home, there was a sign on the kitchen door. Max, the kitchen is no place for you, said Ruby. And Ruby finished up her cake. She baked it and cooled it and iced it. That means frosted it with raspberry fluff frosting. Oh, that sounds so good. I need something else, Max, said Ruby. I need to send you back one more time. I need birthday candles, silver stars, some sugar hearts, and maybe some buttercream roses, wrote Ruby. So I don't have all those things, but I do have some birthday candles. And I didn't have any silver stars, but I had these silver balls. I might have used those. So Max had his brand new idea. He's got one more chance to get the grocer to know what he wants for his earthworm birthday cake. This time, he drew a picture of what the candy looks like. That's a great idea because picture drawing is a great way to get your message across. He drew a picture of those red hot marshmallow squirters on Ruby's list and he ran to the grocer and he could not wait. So the grocer read the list: birthday candles, silver stars, sugar hearts, buttercream roses, said the grocer. What's this? Oh, I know what this is. You must need red hot marshmallow squirters. Ruby's cake looked just beautiful. Max went out and put caterpillar icing on his birthday cake. And Grandma was thrilled. She didn't even know which cake to eat first. I think he put his red hot marshmallow squirters on his dirt cake with caterpillar frosting and his red hot marshmallow squirters, while she made the angel food cake with the raspberry fluff icing and the candy hearts and sprinkles. Why do you think Grandma's so excited to have both cakes? What are you thinking? I'm thinking that Grandma knows that Max worked really hard on his cake and that was the best he could do, being young, and he couldn't use the kitchen himself, so he went and made this kind of cake. So I have an idea. I know we've already made a rainbow cake, right? You know that there's ways to make real cakes. You can get a cake mix. You can use some ingredients and bake a cake from scratch. That's what it's called when you do it, when you don't use a box. But I think it would be super duper fun if we tried to make Max's cake. The one with the dirt, maybe the caterpillar ice cream, and maybe some decorations on top. You want to try it with me? All right, hang in there. I'll get my ingredients and I'll meet you back at my table. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that story, Bunny Cakes by Rosemary Wells. You can also go online and download the book or look on YouTube for someone reading it and reread it again. It's a great story. So here's what I want to share with you. You can make this cake without cooking anything this time. So I'm not in my cooking part of my kitchen this time. I'm actually at my kitchen table. And I want to show you something you can do with your family and you can enjoy it. And it doesn't take any stove or any oven this time. All right, I want to make my version of a bunny cake. Max made his version. He did some kind of dirt cake with caterpillar icing. I'm going to show you how I would make a bunny cake. Are you ready? All right. Well, the first things you need are your ingredients. This one's really simple. You need pudding. You need some kind of black and white cookie, usually Oreos is what I use. And you need maybe some decorations for the top. It's really that simple. I like to use instant pudding because then you get to use it right away to make your recipe. So let me show you what I have. So the first thing, because I want it to be a dirt cake, is I always like to start with a chocolate pudding, all right? So I took this box of instant pudding and I mixed 2 cups of milk and 1 package of instant pudding. And then I took a whisk and I just whisked it into a bowl. I used a bigger bowl when I was mixing it. And I did it for a long time until it started to come together and gel. And then I put it in my refrigerator for about, 30 minutes. And that's what it looks like. Instant pudding is done immediately. You don't have to cook it. That's the great part about instant pudding. So that's the base for my dirt cake. Then I decided, well, that's not really enough. But I am home now, and I'm not supposed to be running out to the grocery store if I don't really need really essential ingredients, and you shouldn't either. I want you to learn over the next couple of weeks to try to improvise in your kitchen or in your home. Use what you have to get the job done, all right? Later, when we're out back shopping and nobody's being asked to stay home, you can get the type of ingredients that I use. So let's say you don't have any chocolate pudding. What if all you have is pistachio? Use it. What if all you have is banana? Use it. That's all I had. So then I thought, oh dear, this really isn't enough for my dirt pie or birthday cake. So then I went and checked my cupboard and I had this kind. This is an instant mousse that my son TJ really likes. And this is also just dump it in, mix it up with some milk. And I did. And look how that one came out. That one's more of a whipped pudding, okay? It's a mousse pudding. So in a way, I've got 2 colors of brown. I think that's actually going to make my cake even more special, all right? So there's my base. That's going to be the base of the dirt cake. The top obviously needs to be the dirt. Well, I want to be able to eat it, so I'm not going to go outside and get dirt. So I took some Oreos, and I, of course, went to my pantry, and lucky me, I had 2 kinds. And I usually would use more of the dark ones, but I did sprinkle in a couple of the white ones. And all I did was put them in a baggie. I'll show you like this. Like 3 black ones to 1 white one, but I did more than that. I did a few more, and I took them and I put them in this bag. And then I took my rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, improvise. I love that word. That should be the word of the day. Go find something you can use to smash your cookies, okay? It could be at the back of a pan. It could be anything you have that's a little bit heavy, okay? So you just roll it and roll it and roll it until when you open it, it actually looks like dirt. Look at that. Now, I'm going to tell you something. At the grocery store, they actually sell Oreo crumbles in a bag that looks just like that. So if you want to skip this whole part and just use that, you can. I didn't have that in my kitchen. And there's 2 reasons why I didn't do it that way. They were selling the bag for $4.99 when 1 Oreo pack was only $2.50. I could get this for $5. Or I could have gotten just that 1 little pack of crumbles. And I thought, oh no, I'll crush them myself because that's a better deal. So always use your math skills when you're in the grocery store. All right? I have extra Oreos left in there for another activity or just for a snack. All right? So I made the dirt. Now, lots of ways to assemble this. We must improvise. Normally, if I was making it for like a big crowd or for someone's real birthday or for Easter, sometimes I would use like this potted plant base. It has holes in the bottom. So if you do that, you need to put a little bit of foil in so the pudding doesn't seep through the bottom. And you would need to make like 4, maybe 5 boxes of instant pudding because you want to fill it up like way up here because you have a lot of people to serve, right? So I don't have that much pudding today, so I'm not going to do it that way. But that's an option. So then I thought, oh, I wish I had some little containers like that, which they sell at the dollar store. But remember, I'm not leaving my house right now. I've been asked to stay home, just like you, so I'm gonna improvise and use what I have in my kitchen. So I went and just got a plastic cup, and I wrapped brown paper around it. Looks good enough to me. I could do that for more of an individual serving, maybe for a larger person, or how about a little baby cup and do it like a mini version. Like you could serve this dirt cake any way you want. So I decided, I looked in my pantry and look what I found. I had one of these dark chocolate crusts, graham cracker crust pies. So I'm gonna use this as my base this time. But it doesn't mean I couldn't do it this way or this way, make a whole bunch of these or a whole bunch of these. This is where you get creative and you do what works for you, okay? So my base is a graham cracker crust this time, all right? And I will show you how also we could do it maybe in that little baby one. So I have 2 options. I could scoop this one on the bottom and that one on the top. I could scoop this one halfway and this one halfway. I could put them together and swirl them. I actually think I'm going to do it this way. This instant pudding's going on the bottom, okay? This is my mud. You could call it dirt cake or mud pie, okay? It's kind of similar to what Max made, right? It's looking like it, but this is more edible for people, all right? And now I'm going to use the other pudding, which was more of the chocolate mousse. I actually love it having 2 different kinds of layers. So look what happened. I didn't have more of the instant pudding, and on a normal day, I would have run to the store to get it. But instead, I just improvised and used what I had in my pantry. If you don't even have pudding, you could do it with yogurt. You could do it with, sometimes they sell these kind of puddings already made. And if you have a whole bunch of these, you could do it that. Maybe I could show you how to do it like with that one later. All right? So I'm just gonna swirl it. It does not have to be perfect. It does not matter, okay? There's my mud, and now I'm going to add the dirt. Are you ready? Okay, so this is what the dirt looked like after I crumpled it up and got it out of the bag. Now, if I had more, I could mound it a little bit more like Max's. His was more like a big mound of dirt. Well, I don't have any more, so that's the best I'm going to do today. And then you sprinkle on your crumbs, all right? So anyway, there's my mud, there's my dirt, and I now have a dirt cake. Now, I could serve it just like that. If I had done it in this bowl, and I had done the pudding, and then all the crumbs on the top, I then usually have fake flowers that I get at the dollar store, and I stick them in the top, and I bring it to a party, and it looks like I've brought like a big thing of flowers to somebody, and then I tell them, oh no, we can eat that, all right? But then I think, wait a minute, I need to make mine better. He had these red marshmallow squirter things on top. How about if we add some sour neon worms or crawlers, creepy crawlers, and we stick those in? Now it's really looking like a dirt cake, right? Look at that. Oh, I could stick them maybe going along this way, some popping out. Look at this. Oh my goodness. And I mean as many as you want, okay? What if I thought, also sometimes there's ladybugs in the dirt. Look what I happen to have in my baking closet. These are sugared ladybugs. Let me stick those on. Isn't this adorable? No cooking. Remember, if you don't have exactly what I have, just think about things you'd see in a garden or in the dirt. Now, I'm very sad that I don't have any fake flowers. And I don't have any real flowers growing in my yard right now either, because I could snip and put those in. So I went to my pantry and I improvised and I used my imagination, and I decided that if I used just some cupcake liners, and I cut them, and I turned them inside out, and I just decorated it, and I put it on the back of a popsicle stick. Look at this. Done. Now I've got my flowers in my dirt cake. I've got my worms. I have some ladybugs. Oh, maybe this one could have gone in here if I made like a really mini one. Let's do that. Let's say I don't have anything, but I really want to eat a dirt cake tonight. And I happen to have some Oreos or some cookies I could crush up. So I'll use this bag. Maybe I'll just use one that's already made. Ready? And we'll just pile it on. And maybe I'll give him one ladybug. Okay? And where'd my wormies go? How about 2 worms coming out of this one? Oh, yum. I always buy this bag of worms. They're $1. And I always keep them in my baking cabinet because you just never know when you might want to use them. And then look, I could put this like mini flower in. Look at that dirt cake. Isn't that amazing? Now, if it really is somebody's birthday, like Haley or Mrs. Gallup, you could bring it like that with a little happy birthday on it. I have these little flowers. These are sugar flowers, and I could put these on the dirt as if they're just popping up. Spring has sprung, right? And they're just popping up in the garden. This is where you use your creativity, and you just make it any way you like. You could bring that to somebody's house, and you could wish them a happy birthday. And when it's time to serve, you're going to need some kind of container to serve it in. So you could use a bowl, or you could use a cup. You could just use a plastic cup even. And that's where you would then scoop into the pie, and you would get some of it out. You could take the crust with it if you want, or not. Someone might say, oh, I want a worm, or I want a ladybug, or whatever. And you scoop it in, and you fill it as high as you want. And of course, then comes the tasting. So really, what am I eating? It looks like dirt and mud, but it's pudding and cookies. I am not a worm lover, so I might leave the worm in there for later. You ready? It's so good. It's absolutely delicious. I do hope you run to your pantries and see if you have any of these ingredients. If you don't, what was that magic word? Improvise. Use your imagination. What could I use in place of that? How could I make flowers for my cake? Make this for your family because food is love. And when you cook for somebody, it's another way of saying, I care about you and I love you. Until next time, happy reading and happy cooking. Happy birthday, Mrs. Gallup and Haley. Bye-bye.